What up, though? LK the Leprechaun dropping another one. This one we're gonna talk about Uganda. Uganda, country in Africa, and they've been passing outlawing that what they call LGBTQ. We all know what that is. Back in my day, they ain't call it all that, but let's get into it. So, Uganda and other African countries making moves to make it a crime for someone to identify as LGBTQ. Now, before I get into this, I just want to say I don't discriminate. I don't care what people do with their lives. Just like you guys, no one should care about what I do with mine. I got relatives, I got close friends, I got people I grew up with that I love dearly that identify with this LGBTQ stuff. They got their life, I got my life. I don't care what anybody do with their life. I don't care what your preference is. I don't care what you do in your home. Just like you shouldn't care what I do in my home and whatever I do and whatever I got going on. That's my business. Just like whatever you got going on, that's your business. I don't care about none of that. So before people start hopping on here talking about, I don't know what people say nowadays. People be mean. Throwing names out, acting all weird. I don't care about none of that. I don't care about what anybody say. I'm just reporting some news. I'm just reporting what's out there, and whatever side of the fence you on, I don't care. I don't care about none of this. You know what I'm saying? I really don't. Like I said, I got close relatives, blood relatives that are gay. I got a homie that I grew up with that identify with this stuff. You know what I'm saying? I got, all that stuff that people be talking about. I know people from all sides of the tracks, and it's all love. We all link up, hang out, do whatever, and it's all love. So I don't want to hear about none of that. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to hear no hate on either side of the fence. Anyway, let's get into it. So Uganda making headlines in the news as it passes what mainstream media is calling an anti-LGBTQ bill. I tried doing my read, research, repeat on what the bill is called, and I couldn't find it. I could only find what mainstream media is calling it, an anti-LGBTQ bill. I don't know what the bill is actually called. I did find that back in like 2015 or 14 or 16, somewhere around there, they did introduce an anti-homosexuality bill. And again, don't know if that's what the bill is called, but that's what all these mainstream media outlets is calling it. Uganda is one out of 30 African countries to ban same-sex acts. We all know over here in the States and all over the West, the LGBTQ movement is big. They have, their gay month or pride month, whatever it's called. They got major companies, mainstream media, politicians, all, pushing, hanging the rainbow flags or the LGBTQ flags, whatever it's called. It's being pushed almost like there's, like an organized agenda to it, big money behind it. When I was younger growing up, it was just called gay. You know what I'm saying? Wasn't no LGBTQ, nothing. It was just, hey, you gay, straight. If you was a female, they called it lesbian. I don't know where all these other letters came from. This new woke movement or whatever they call it. I don't know. But the Museveni or whatever they call him, his name, Museveni, the current president of Uganda, and other politicians have noted the damage it could do to the geopolitics and the relationship with the West. And many Western nations have froze or redirected millions and millions of dollars of government aid, as they call it, government aid. So basically there is an agenda, because if they willing to give you money or take away money based on your politics, that's an agenda. when you get money and incentives is involved, like on my friend of the court case, when money and incentives is involved, that's an agenda. That's an organized effort to push an agenda or to push your narrative or to push whatever your belief is, whatever your cause is. That's called having an agenda. But we've seen that, we've seen that in schools, children books, TV, shows, movies, clothes, music, the list goes on, and I debate about this with a whole lot of people. Me and my girl always, whatever. But it's like I told her, the more they push this LGBTQ agenda on people and on our children, the more of a pushback they're going to receive. And that's what people don't get. People think it's hate. People think it's, what they call it, homophobe, which really don't make sense because that means you're scared. A phobia means you're scared. I don't know anybody that's scared of gays or LGBTQ. I don't know anyone that's scared of that. But the more that they push it on children, that's the big thing. When you're pushing it on children, when, I forget what it is, but it's like not even 10% of the population, probably not even 5% of the population identifies LGBTQ. So when you taking a small percentage of people and then you pushing it to the mainstream, like it's what most people want, you're gonna get pushback over it. Matter of fact, I just seen a video the other day. What's the UFC fighter name? Holly Holm, after her UFC fight, took her little post interview and spoke about how we need to protect our children because they are sexualizing our children, and that's wrong. That's nasty. And if you okay with that, you need to look in the mirror and do a reevaluation of you and your codes and your morals, because I think everybody can get behind protecting our children, and that's what we need to do, because they're coming after our children. They're coming after the youth. They impressionable. They the future. So they know if they can manipulate the children, they can manipulate the future. And that's what they do. And it's sickening and it's disheartening and it breaks my heart. It makes me want to cry. I got children, young children, teenagers that are impressionable. And I pray for them. I pray for all our children every day, because what they doing is crazy. But that, about wrap it up for this video. I just want to touch on what, Uganda is doing, and people getting, not people, but, the mainstream media and the West up in arms about what Uganda is doing. But they got to understand it's a different culture. They come from a different part of the world. You could go outside the U.S., you go out, there cultures all over. And they not down with a whole lot of stuff that the West be trying to push. And, I'm not down with it either. We need to save our children. We need to protect our children. It's a war against our children, and we need to protect them at all costs. And like I said before, I ain't got no bias against no LGBTQ or whatever you want to call it, whatever you want to identify as, whatever you want. That's fine. Do you. But I'm not pushing my beliefs on other people, and people shouldn't push their beliefs on other people. That's just how it is. Everyone, be civilized in public, do what you do, and then when you go back to your house or you're with your group of people in your community, fools can do whatever they want. Who cares, right? But that's how I feel about it. But let me know. Drop your opinion in the comments. Feel free to add me on social media, DM me. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share, and I'll see you on the next one. Appreciate y'all. Much love, peace, blessings, much gratitude.